Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to Torchlight. Oh shit, I can't use the turning on the stream as an excuse. I already turned it on. Fuck, we need to get in game to Torchlight. I can word.
I can do it. I can word. I believe in me. Okay. So when last we left off, we had, against all odds, successfully cleared Emerald Island. The, what is it? The... Shit. Oh, shit. Torchlight. Nailed it. I can't believe we found that rat hiding hole. That hiding hole from the rats was so shocking. I do think that the dragon would have been manageable on its own. Like, I don't think that if we had it, like, just paralyzed the thing and killed it by paralyze, I think I still would have been able to kill it within maybe 2 or 3 attempts. I don't think the dragon was going to be a problem. Looking at the layout of the room, I think I would have been fine. Also, the homing isn't that strong in this, so I can actually just disengage from the dragon and rotate around the room for as long as I want. I have preservation, I have mono regen, we have all those things. So, I don't know if Mono Shield has been fixed. There have been edits to the game. Do I need food to save still? I don't. So that was changed. I know that Malika said that they were thinking about changing that, and it looks like they did. So that is going to make my life a lot easier. I find it very stressful to do, like, resource management, even if I can just go to the inn. So this is going to help me actually do things. And yes, I did update. I updated. So here's the crazy thing. I came back to my seat. I updated the game. And then when I updated the game, my net went down. Right? Not the computer, the internet. Like, my modem lost connection to the server. It was a whole thing. Really wild. And I was like, what the hell? And so immediately as I'm, like, in between internet processes, one is, like, updating the game, the next is going to be starting stream, net goes down. And then the second that I use my phone to go to Down Detector to see if this is, like, a bigger problem, I didn't see anybody else having the problem. I click the report problem. The internet came up, I think, within a second. Like, it was wild, because I'm sitting with my phone right here, and Discord is right here with the like, we're disconnected screen. So my phone's here, I click the button. I had confirmed with my phone that the problem was also with the phone. But, you know, there. And then as I press the button, like, literally within a second, Discord comes back up. It's like, what is happening? Anyway, it was wild. So, what are we saving this as? Emerald, done. We finished it. So good. Let's see here. Oh, the other thing that should have occurred to me as a micromanaging thing, I didn't want to, like, do extra saves because I was like, oh, it'll cost me more food. It doesn't cost me more food. I can save, load that save, and then make an extra save file off of from there. I don't need to, like, save multiple times and use food each time just to have a backup. I can just mechanically, these are, you know, different things. Anyway, it didn't occur to me, and I should have done that when I was transitioning continents, but I didn't. So I was very YOLOing the transition between continents, and we might have made some slight tactical errors that are going to cause problems for us in the future. Hopefully that pedestal quest isn't too important, right?
Congratulations, my friends. Your new castle is located in Harmony, a peaceful village on the edge of the elvish kingdom of Toulouse, but firmly within human territory. Though there are many privileges to being the lord of this estate, there are many responsibilities as well. public safety, for example. And oh,
I almost forget.
Goblins have taken an interest in your new lands. I'm sure brave adventurers such as yourselves will have no trouble with them. So, enjoy your new home. May you rule your lands wisely.
I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Wait, why am I weak? What just happened? Does traveling here not count as a travel, but it does take a bunch of time or something? Huh. I don't know what happened there. That's very strange. Okay. I have one less food, which is conducive with the idea that I just spent 3 days on a boat, but didn't have like an actual thinger. Huh, that's odd. Sorry, I got derailed by the weakness proccing. Shit, I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh, right, I was gonna say, of all the people you could, like, give, like, noble title to and land to, especially, like, contested territory, I'm just gonna say, a party of adventurers is the stupidest group of people that you could possibly give, like, institutional power to. Like legitimacy, institutional power. Let's just give that to a group of people who are very likely going to become insanely powerful in and of themselves over the course of their career. Maybe not very likely. Most likely they're going to get themselves killed or something, right? But, like, just thinking about the idea of pairing people who are really, really, really good at blowing shit up with the same people who are in charge of this town. Like, y'all know your empires are going to crumble, right? Like, that's like the inevitable... This is the inevitable response. Like, how do you have heads of state meet? Right? Like, how do you have, like, diplomatic talks between the Lords of Harmondale and, like the Queen of Arathia or the fucking, like, Dwarf King or whoever, right? Like, okay, let's have a conversation in private. Nobody is going to have any guards there, or we'll have, like, a token guard who's unarmed, okay? Something like that, right? Very, like, normal shit. You can't do that because these people could fucking kill everyone in the room with a thought. Anyway, it's just kind of funny. So we have quite a lot of stuff to do here, and I'm wondering what we want to do first. I think we will... we gotta light the fires. We gotta kick the tires, light the fires. So we have fly. We can talk to you about the beacon fires and go light them. So let's light all the fires. Do we want to do that first? Do we want to kill this thing first? Did I have inventory management that I needed to do? I don't think so, right? We just killed a dragon. We're fine. We should probably play Arcomage. That's a good point. Good point. We need to do Arcomage again. That's great. Man, I should have played Arcomage in every... Oh, okay. I see how it is. Let's grab your quest. Let's grab this other quest as well. Man, it's interesting and exciting, weirdly, to be, like, at the beginning of a game again. Like, I haven't been at the beginning of the game in such a long time. And I don't really play Might and Magic 7 that much, so... Okay, let's save this up. And we are going to start the process.
We don't need this.
This is... why is there
leave
chainmail
it
up
behind.
here? This is a level 1 mushroom. And I am just going to fly around and do the signal fires immediately before I actually, like, do much fighting, I think. We can see how hard, like, one group of these goblins is. I imagine they're going to be pretty fucking hard. It's my estimation that, given how difficult the rats were... Oh, God. Oh, right, our spells wore off. We didn't cast preservation again. Whoops. Whoops! And regen is also worn off. And we don't need to change our gear for any of this. This is wild. Alright. Yeah, I definitely want to hit the signal fires before I do anything else. That's the first thing that I want to do. And because of the fact that my fly is going to drop, I think I am actually going to just go around and tag them all and not worry about fighting yet. I'll fight once I... Pohubwa. Ooh, we got our first boss. It's also very funny. I remember what I was reading just now. What? Why was someone saying? Does anyone wear plate instead of chain? I must have misread what they were saying. Because I thought I read someone saying, like, who uses plate on a seraph when they can wear chain? And I'm like, do they get chain GM or something? And I clearly just misunderstood what they were saying because they were clearly saying the opposite. Let's see, might and personality. Ooze ectoplasm. This makes a catalyst. This is 70 power, which isn't quite enough, but might be enough if I add some sauce to it in the form of a more powerful weapon enchant or something. Gotta add the sauce. Okay, we've got this stuff. Let's go ahead and loot all these fruit trees, because this is going to be relevant eventually. The weird thing is, normally I just allow myself to use these apples just because it's mostly a non-factor. It's just kind of like a convenience thing to like get it out of my inventory. It's almost like a weird completionism thing of like, I want to pick it up, but I also don't want to hold on to it in my inventory indefinitely. And the thing that's funny about it is like, because one could argue that me using the apples is actually breaking the rules of the run. Is giving me +1 food a permanent effect? I mean, kind of. Except for the fact that I can consume it, right? So it permanently gives me a consumable resource. Okay, yeah, sure. Sure, Ark. Okay. So one could easily argue that using them is against the rules of the run, but they're so irrelevant usually that, like, who cares, right? Like, no one's gonna, call me out on it. Well, I mean, someone might call me out on it, and if they did, I would laugh. But I would laugh, and then I'd, abide by the rules of the run. That's the really funny thing, is that if someone called me out on it, I would, in fact, stop using them, because it's like, yeah, I mean, you are right. But let's see here. But now, because it affects the way that you can save, I actually think I maybe shouldn't be using them. So, we'll see. I'm going to start collecting them, in particular because of the fact... Wait, did this gazebo get moved? Oh, this is probably just a new gazebo for one of the teleporters, right? Yeah, this goes there off. Okay. So, which dungeon do we do first? It's tempting to do this dungeon first. I don't think I want to, though. I think I'm going to do the other dungeon first. I think the other dungeon is going to be a little easier. I could be wrong on that, but it's my presumption that the other dungeon is going to be a little bit easier than this one. And it will probably be shorter. And I would like... How are we doing? Okay, so these do about a full HP bar. Cordrick. They can miss, though, so that is the one advantage that we have, is that the physical attackers can miss. So... we have a boss here that's regenerating. I need to get this thing on the bridge. Okay. I think it's just coming through the floor. We're going to definitely need to use this bridge to deal with the regenerator, I think. Unfortunately... this is going to be, like, the worst way to fight a regenerating enemy in human history, as it, like... gets stuck in the floor and shit. Okay, this is good. We're making progress, probably. I think we have way more damage output. Oh, shit. Okay, we're fine. We have more damage output relative to the enemy's HP than we ever have in the game, I think. Like, we are massively, massively more damage than before. So... unfortunately, the regen is going to cause problems for us, but it doesn't have a lot of HP left. I think I'm going to tag it. Okay, we're good. We got it. We got a cloak. Dropped a mushroom that I don't need. Can save the game. Oh, it feels so good being able to save and not have that like tension of having just consumed a resource. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good. I have a very particular set of neurodivergencies that makes saving with a resource very stressful. And I'm fine having that stress while I'm in a dungeon. When I'm out of the dungeon, it just feels so, like, you know, massively more stressful than it should be. I don't even know why. That's why I say it's a particular set of neurodivergencies, because I don't think that it's, like... I don't think it's, like, a rational response to anything in particular. I think it's just something my brain does. Okay. Okay. We got it. Now, we can save the game. Oh, it feels so good. Okay, and we can... we can make you aggro. Eventually. Alright, so our hope here is that we can clear these out in a timely manner. Honestly, though, I was thinking I'd clear my way to the dungeon and then go into the dungeon. I'm probably just going to clear my way to the dungeon and then just go train immediately. Who does? Okay, there you are. It's so funny that, like, hobgoblins are going to functionally be like Minotaur Kings. Okay. It's not Sunday, is it? It's Monday. Damn. We missed Sunday. Is there anybody up here? Right, are we gonna pull? We need to pull this pack at some point, so we might as well grab them right now. Yeah, aggro in 7 is very weird. Look how weird they are. That thing's just sitting there now, and it's coming now. Like, what is this madness? Okay, that one's parried. Okay. Save. Where are we in terms of time? We are at 1:28. We can potentially do like part of a poll. Like if I could just kill this enemy, I think I'm happy to go train from there. Also, I just realized I don't think it matters. I've been thinking that I want to maximize, like I want to be as close to the time limit as possible because it's going to set me back to 9 o'clock when I train. But I don't think that happens anymore. I think one of the mods changed that. Or it might just be a Might Mitigate thing. Where's the training? Training's over here. Okay. Look, I remember the layout of the place that I was in the absolute most for my entire childhood. Okay, so next on our agenda in terms of points is I think I'm going to increase these by another 5. I think that's how I want to handle them. We could try getting up to Expert Mana Shield, but while Mana Shield's a very cool skill, it's almost certainly not going to be a skill that I make any use of during my run, because the characters that I have aren't very good at it. They're kind of mediocre at it. But more importantly, I don't have a spellcaster build for anybody. So all of my characters have very low spell points, which means that, and they not only low spell points, they also have low spell point regen. So Mana Shield, which relies very heavily on mana regen, would require that I also invest into meditation heavily and things like that. And Kortal, I think, is particularly vulnerable to using Mana Shield for the situations that I'm in, because as kind of like my primary healer, I need to have mana on Kortal when I need to have the mana. So it's kind of wasteful that I'm hitting enemies that I'm at full mana, because I regen so much mana off of hitting enemies. So it would be very nice and convenient to have Mana Shield as a way to burn through some of that MP. The issue is that I need to have above 0 SP at all times, because I need to be able to cast the Shared Life when I need to cast the Shared Life. And because I'm taking so much damage, I'm going to burn through my Mana Shield very quickly. So for my particular usage case, Mana Shield is probably not going to end up being like relevant to my gameplay, which I pretty much expected like when the ability came out, because it is much more of a like ability meant for spellcasters to be able to build into spellcasting and not be like basically not just be one shot by everything. I believe I think fundamentally it's meant to allow spellcasters to use their spell points as kind of like a secondary HP pool, and it could potentially do some really crazy and cool things for like dedicated spellcasters. Like you could do like a Mana Shield build that is potentially extremely powerful, right? So a lot of it depends on like the specific details of like what mechanisms you can use to get additional mana regen going and stuff like that. Obviously, like, you know, there are caveats there where it's possible that some of the numbers need to be tweaked in order to make it more useful, like in order to be able to, you know, get really good effects out of it. So that's certainly possible. But from my perspective, it looks like an ability that's going to be very cool and fun to play with, but which you need to build for, right? You can't, like, get too much value out of it with, like, a melee bruiser who also needs to cast Shared Life, right? Like, that I think is key. Like, if I had an archer, right, who doesn't need to cast Shared Life, they have to cast spells periodically, but, like, they don't need to do, like, much more than that. An archer could potentially make a lot of use out of it. Someone like that, anyone who doesn't have to be, like, the primary, like, active healing to get people out from unconsciousness could make really good use out of it. And that would depend on the build. Like, the shaman could fill that function if that's the way that I designed my, you know, character build. But I didn't, so... Ooh, that is a lot of fun. Okay, this is going to be a problem.
I'm not dead yet.
Alright, so that's instant death. But don't worry, I'm not worried about this dungeon. We're not going to use the entryway, because the entryway is well, we might. If I can get, like, one of these aggroed, which I don't think I can.
I'm not dead yet.
And I say chat has no faith. Okay. You need to... We got another one. We got two. I'm going to move into the corner again. Yeah, we can melt through these really fast. It's the Might Magic 7 like movement behaviors are so funny. Oh shit. Why? Their aggro behaviors are also very fun. That's interesting. Are the troglodyte queens a different color now? Weren't they red before? Ooh, this is a puller. Wow. It is very good that this thing locked itself in a corner over here. Can I fight this? Probably not, right? No, not a puller. Because I wouldn't be able to disengage effectively. Oh shit, I aggroed a bunch of extra enemies. Well, we might be in trouble here. We have at least 3. We're probably going to have more than that. Oh, shit. I split the damage so evenly. Okay. Okay. Luckily, those were just drones, so we didn't end up with a problem. Okay, we have an extra. And this is not how I had intended to do this, actually. Where the hell are you? There's also a pack on our left that I've pulled one enemy out of. Where the fuck are you? Are you in the ceiling? Okay. Everything's fine. Yeah, that was not my intended way of handling this area. My intention was to make use of the elevation differences to clear that way. That was a bad idea. I should have been doing full damage instead of trying to fuck around with positioning. Ooh, I really fucked myself here, didn't I? I haven't killed any of them. Okay, we're probably fine. Okay. That was incredibly bad play. That was so bad. Okay. We just got a shit ton of ads. I'm gonna try to just burn through these. Oh, Jesus Christ! Wow. Wow. Okay, we're in trouble here. I don't have jump right now, which is what I was intending to use for the whole fucking strat. My entire strategy relied on using jump. This isn't... Oh, this isn't where I thought I was. Ooh, I'm dead. Okay, we need to get in here. This is the right place. Okay, we're fine. We're not actually fine, but I'm going to claim that I'm fine until I die, which is going to be now? Yep, okay. Well, we fucked up. We fucked up bad. Oof. Okay. Will that strategy work? I'm going to find out. We're going to go in there. I'm going to try to dick around with this. I kind of felt like I was going to be fine there. And then... Oh. This is a huge pack. Let's see. The goal here... Is there a place that doesn't have any... I think there are enemies in there, actually. Should I just be doing... I think I should just be doing this normally. That was a pretty solid proof of concept, what we had there. And... I fucked it at the end, but... The fact of the matter is that if I clear this section here, I think I can get in the green at some point in the near future. You tell him, kid.
Help!
Oh boy. Okay. Apparently they get sick. So they just started coughing. That's really sad. The last time we killed like a puller, we got so much work done in here on the previous attempt, and this attempt is just like got nothing done on the initial. Oh, okay, we can hit it from here now. Now that both of our healers are down. But yeah, I also am in part doing this first just because I want the Archimage deck. These have moved out.
I'm not dead yet.
There's no way I'm in the green, right? Okay. Oh shit. Oh, definitely not with these two here. We haven't aggroed the ones across the way yet. Yeah, one thing to bear in mind is that it's entirely possible that I got myself into the green in that previous attempt at some point and just didn't notice. I don't think that I did. But yeah, the goal right now is to clear a hole around this corner. We're going to basically just wait on these to approach. Okay. So we should be able to do this. Squish, squish, squish. Easy peasy. Squishy. Ooh. Squishy. It's very funny, actually. When I first learned the word like squishy, in Japan, I learned it from like listening. I was in kind of like a the way that I was being taught was very like what's the word? Holy shit. Concerning. The way that I was being taught was very much a like immersion based thing. So I wasn't getting a lot of like there wasn't any like English or like Romaji like translations for pretty much anything that I was looking at, and my hiragana comprehension was minimalist, is a strong word for it at the time. And so one of the things that I learned was the word sokoshi, which means like a little bit. And I might be fucking it up because to this day I'm pretty sure that that's what it is, but I don't see it written down a lot, and this was 20 years ago. But anyway, I heard it wrong and thus internalized it wrong and thought it was sakushi that they were saying, right? That's not what they were saying, and that's not what that means. That's a different word. Now, sakushi, the way that I'm pronouncing it there, doesn't sound that strange, because I'm not pronouncing it the way that they would pronounce it in Japan, which is the U there is mostly silent, so it's just sakushi. And it took, I think, like a month before my my sensei realized what I was doing, because, you know, like, I'm an American, I'm mispronouncing every word, right, in the first place, right? So it's not like my pronunciation is great. So they realize, wait, what are you saying? No. This is a different word than that. That means something very different than what you're trying to say right now. I hope. I'm not sure how the other word would work in this context. Anyway, it was very funny. But to this day, I actually am not positive on the spelling and thus pronunciation of a little bit. You know, but that's fine. That's fine. You can just use choto. I don't know why that just like popped into my head as a random anecdote to tell, but it did. Okay, we got another one aggroed from over there. We're gonna pull back. Yeah, Might Magic 7 has weird aggro. It is weird up here. There's another one that just aggroed from over there. And we got 2 more from over there. That's cool. Love to see that. I mean, hey, as long as we're just ping-ponging back and forth with, like, one enemy, like, we're actually fine. This is kind of optimal for us. Because the more, like, they pull separately from each other, the less we have to worry about, like, consolidated packs tearing us to shreds. Okay, I'm not going to keep going that way because I think I want to clear this little alcove here next. Though I'm not going to get an opportunity to do that next because I'm going to have to wait for this thing to show up. Because it aggroed around that corner there. Yeah, Might Magic 7 has weird aggro. This is going to be fun, actually. Like, I'm excited about this. I didn't realize we were going to get, like, very, very different, like, AI behavior in the different, like, things. But clearly, like, this is doing some weird Might Magic 7 shit, right? Like, that seems clear to me that this is some weird MM7 shit. Okay, we're fine. And that might be what we need to get the first save. And it's not. Do we have more on the right side here?
Useless. Worthy. That's no good.
HP.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh shit. Hello. Don't know where you came from. Oh, I can just jump up. I don't need the spell.
We got it.
Okay.
We got it.
Alright, I'm not super happy with the consolidation here, so we're just going to jump up here. And then we're going to just jump down. Now that they've spread out a bit, we can burn through them. Monsters are weakened and can no longer resurrect. So if we want, we can just leave the dungeon at this point. But we're not going to. We're going to use some food to save here. And I think it'll be great. Let's see. Yeah, I'm glad that this dungeon was as reasonable as I anticipated it would be. I do think the big question for this part of the run, there was like a while in one of the sections. I don't remember which section. I think it was during Might and Magic. I think it was kind of for both Might and Magic 6 and 8.
Useless.
There was a while where my DPS, relative to the power of the enemies, relative to their like HP values, was really, really behind. I was really struggling. There were like quite a few sections where I felt like I was really struggling to make things work. I think I can climb up this. Yes. And
Useless.
Sorry, I can't use it.
Worthy.
can't identify it. Useless.
I can't
Sorry, I
learn
can't
it.
use it.
Interesting.
I can't identify it.
You could sell it.
Water plus 19 and HP and speed is an interesting effect combination. Interesting. Okay. No, I did not.
I don't know it. Now here's something.
Oh, interesting. That is an of Doom ring
We could sell it.
with some quite spicy stats on it. That'll be an interesting item for somebody. I don't know who. We'll figure it out in a second. Oops. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter because it's the right person anyway. I didn't actually note who I had targeted when I did that, so.
Now this one, we could sell it.
Okay.
It's worth
And there was an extra halberd in here. It doesn't look that full until you reorganize stuff.
Now here's something.
I don't think I need this, but I'm going to loot it anyway. Okay, these are in a corner, and they're not moving yet. Now they're moving. I'm going to immediately start transitioning these over to where I want them to be. And will they fall? Will they jump down to me? Oh, interesting. They seem confused. I'm gonna do this. Oh, nice. They can get within melee range from there, so they're willing to approach to get into melee range here. But I could just back away, and the ones behind will stop trying to get down to me. So this is a pretty solid setup location. Yeah, I know, it's cheesy. Should have just struggled with the jumps. And by cheesy, I am referring to the fact that I used jump to get up here. I'm not referring to the fact that I found a way to split these, because that ain't cheesy. Okay, let's try this again. You know, I'm glad that I just, brought out my massive skill to get a much more powerful jump, I really outplayed that. Okay, so next on our agenda is apparently getting these. Any day now, thank you. Okay, there's a bunch of oozes over here. There's not oozes over here, but they're not ooze. Are the oozes further in, or am I?
That's good.
Okay, we're in the green, so they're presumably not in that hole.
We don't need this.
No, I'm thinking of a different hole. I'm probably thinking of the next right that's just barely visible on the map.
We don't need this.
The issue here... I mean, I guess it's a very manageable issue now that I think about it. Because I can just melee kite these.
This could be
They just
tough.
move so slowly. I guess I'm also probably lifestealing way less. Okay.
No space.
Dungeon complete. Let's go.
It's worthless.
Useless.
No room.
Because you're wearing an artifact. What is this? Might and armor class.
No room.
Luck, HP, speed, and accuracy. Interesting.
No room.
No space.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. There's a fucking... I didn't realize there was an ambush here. What the fuck? I might die? To this ambush? The fuck? The fuck? What? Oh my god. If I die to these fucking ambushes... Oh boy. How many ambushes are there? Is that it? Is that it? Holy fuck. That scared the shit out of me. Okay, we are out of food. That's all of our food. We're going to... Fuck. I misjudged the... There. And they are moving extraordinarily slowly. Oh, this one fell down. Perfect. Okay. Ooh, we have too many now. This is too many to fight like this. We need to get back. On the plus side, these are moving at normal speed. They're not moving at the, like, enhanced speed that they're supposed to have. I was thinking about using jump, and then I'm like, no. I'm just going to run straight up here. It'll be faster. That's an identified broadsword.
It's worthless.
Cleared that earlier.
That's no good.
Okay. So we just need to clear through these. We should be done. Haha, nailed it. Perfect fucking jump. This doesn't go anywhere. I mean, that's actually useful for me, because that's like a full dead end. So that means that the enemies can't like rotate behind me or anything like that. So that's useful to know about. but also funny that I tried to use it to get across. Now, we have 2 of you. One of you's already dead. Yeah, I don't know how much more we're going to be pumping our damage. Potentially a lot, potentially not very much. We'll just have to see. But we have finished up this cave. We ran into an ambush that I was not expecting. Has that always been there? Have I just completely forgotten that there's like an ambush that is part of like one of the first quests in the game? I don't know. Oh shit! I mean, it would be very on brand. Alright. For me to have forgotten that. That's a maw thing? Okay. Okay. Well, it's a good addition, and it was very funny. And we're not going to turn in yet. We're going to wait until morning to turn in. So while we're waiting... Oh, shit. I can't fly and fight. What am I doing? Let's see here. So does seven have more like adjustments to like the fundamental like map design than the other two do right now? Where's this body? So we finished this dungeon. We're not going to go to the next dungeon yet. We are going to finish clearing the world map. We're going to do some parts of the world map. We're not going to finish it. Basically, we're going to do the world map until we can train. And then we will train and then move over to do more of the world map, I guess, because once we've trained, we can tag the... I'm actually going to dive these. Because of the... Oh, shit! More ambush! That feels like the kind of thing that's vanilla. That's probably a vanilla. It's very similar to the one that they have in another place. Several other places, honestly. Unfortunately, they're going to be walking toward me so slowly. Alright, we're going to dive these. They're approaching us really slow because the enemies that spawn in don't get the movement speed set correctly. So... we're going to have to pull out because all the ones that are ranged are going to get access to me now. They're not having their line of sight blocked anymore. And it looks like a lot of them are rotating back now. So... that was silly, man. Let's see how many are there. There's some of them are almost dead. Alright. Easy peasy.
Here's something.
Okay, let's save it up. Cast a quick flight. There we go. Alright, we should be able to clear through here without too much difficulty.
Got it.
That's good.
Who wants some? It won't.
Won't fit.
No space.
No room. Won't fit.
Okay, we have a swapper here. Whoa. They are not the spawned ones. I'm dead. I should definitely have played more safely there. Alright, let's... I should have just pulled those back to the other bridge. As soon as I saw they were moving as fast as they were, I should have gone, this is a very dangerous place, and there's a swapper. I should deal with them in a safe way, and not in a, you know, dangerous way. I was trying to think of another grocery store and completely blanked on it. So...
That's good.
What's the New York one? Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's. I've never been inside a Trader Joe's, but I keep hearing people talk about them. Where did the big one even go? Okay, there it is. I'm curious how good this is as a spot to fight in. My guess is not. My guess is it's going to be a very bad place to fight in, but I want to try that anyway. I mean, it's not terrible, honestly. Like, it took a while for them all to consolidate. They haven't even all consolidated. We got 5 of the 7 consolidated into the fight eventually. But legitimately, not too bad. And...
It might be useful.
Okay. Now for you... So we have a boss here that we've got, like, no shot at, like, beating in a one-on-one, right? Like, a tier 1 just insta-gibbed my healer. So I feel like the odds that we're going to be able to, like, straight up fight this thing are fairly low, right? Okay, this is very funny. I just have to back up. Oh, I love it. Oh, life is good. Oh shit! It got stunned. Am I gonna try to fight it now? Yeah, I'm just gonna beat it. That's fine. Okay.
Toast.
Ooh, we got some golden plate. That is of the Phoenix. It has personality and hit points. And it's not as good as Zeus. By any stretch of the imagination. If I could up it all the way, I could potentially get it to where it needs to be to compete. But I don't think that's super likely. Cool beans. Alright, so we've cleared out this southern area. It's now 5:09. So we should be able to go turn this quest in. And we've cleared maybe 10% of the goblins on the map. If I had to guess. Oh shit. Okay, we're fine. They didn't really move, so I was worried they'd start getting into the population centers. So, we now have just barely enough EXP to level. However, something that didn't occur to me, we don't have enough experience to level while putting a point in regeneration. One level isn't going to be sufficient to get enough skill points to put a point into regen. So that's a concern.
Come in, come in.
What am I doing? I guess we are doing this and then the 10 if we can. These two is sufficient to end if I were able to get them both off. This would do 5 tower damage. I'm gonna do this. And I think I now have lethal. And by lethal, I mean the opposite of lethal. Yeah. Done. Okay. Easy peasy. It's convenient to just start with the cards in your hand that you need to win the game. You know? This is a really convenient thing to have. Okay, so we are not quite eligible for leveling, which means what? Do we have anything to do here? Do the sun. Can we? Alright, we need to drink from some well or something, I think. How do we... No, we probably just need to... when we town portal here, we town portal into the castle. So we need to clear the castle. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the new lords! Might I suggest violence? Alright, this is going to be a problem.
Go.
My hope is that they will get locked sufficiently in the corners to get the job done.
Help! Wait! There's no room.
This group of rats just doesn't want to aggro. Okay. I just realized I walked in here with no food. We cannot save in this dungeon. We can't save. I didn't go get food. So we're gonna have to do this all in one shot. And we'll see how we do. So who is it that has
Useless.
Thinger? Is it you? You're the one with perception, yeah.
Useless.
That's more rats than I'd like aggroed, honestly. Okay, we should be fine here, I think. These corners are pretty robust, and there's a lot of them. So I think we'll be fine. As long as I don't fuck up by not getting into a corner in time. Oh, that's an issue. Please? Okay, we got it. And yes, Mana Shield has been fixed, so that's delightful. Okay. Okay. We're getting these Ascension Emeralds, which are pretty nice to have. Okay, we got another enemy here. We're in the green. We've cleared both of these initial things.
Ooh.
Spill points.
That's no good. Useless.
Can't wait to cast it.
That's no good.
No
Okay.
space.
Bum, ba-da-bum, bum.
It won't fit.
Those signal fires aren't going to summon Arathian forces. They're going to summon more goblins. Oh no! Oh no! What are we going to do? I guess we're just going to have to kill them all. Oh, we just spawned like a billion of them. That's fine. Oh, we got more. And we have enough ranged attackers that we shouldn't fight in this hallway. But yeah, we got good corners here. We should be golden, even though I can't save the entire time I'm in here. I can, however, leave. So we're going to basically just get half of the dungeon done, or however much we need in order to save, or in order to leave. I don't remember how much it is. And then once we've done that, we'll just walk out the door. Okay. We have like 4 here. I feel like I could take this pack, but because of the fact that I'm not going to be able to save in here, I'm going to play it safe.
I'm not dead yet.
Like, they're not even one-shotting Korvik, so they are one-shotting Korthal, but that's not point. Alright, let's ring.
We don't need this.
This is a bad idea. Oh, you know what was worse as an idea? What I just did. Trying to disengage was a worse idea than staying in the first place. Okay, how low are we? Whoa. Really low on Korthal. I could have easily died because I tried to disengage there. That was a really bad idea. I mean, I could have also died to just not being safe enough in the first place, but... Easy peasy. Okay. You know what? We're gonna try it. You know, it would help if I actually focus fired up.
It might be useful.
Okay, we got Detect Life. I think once I clear one of these branches, that might be close to enough. It depends on which branch I do. I don't know which one of them has more. Though they might just both have similar amounts. That was really silly. I walked out into the attack. Couple lords down. Couple lords down. It's so funny. How, like, every hit from, like, a second tier is one-shotting me. Like, that Hobgoblin just one-shot Korthal. It's so good. That thing just one-shot my knight. Alright. Cleared through that. Is that the whole area? That's all those. I don't think we've cleared all the enemies in the hallway. I'm curious to see if we can use this. Because if we can use this as our next choke point, then we don't have to, like, move around. That's a concern. That fire rat is definitely moving closer. Fire rat's dead. So we should be able to use this corner, I think. I'm just going to dive forward to aggro these behind the corner, and they're just going to stand there? For some reason? Well, this is going to make my life harder. I'm concerned about the leaks. Okay. Luckily, the difference between like the highest and the lowest is like fairly marginal now. Both in terms of durability and damage. Like everything's one-shotting me. I don't need to worry about like the marginal differences in their power level. And everything has about the same amount of HP. It's dangerous for me to fight here because there's the possibility that I aggro the enemies in this corridor. Just by proximity. Fully hit stunned from 100% to dead.
Help!
It's sorry. Sorry.
No.
Okay. So we pulled another pack. Okay. I think this is fine. I could probably fight these without going too crazy with defensive tactics. But, like, I could have used a corner that was over there, probably. But the key that word there is probably, right? Like, we're a bit too late in the game to be taking risks that we don't need to take. Dealing with the unknown unknowns is not in my interests right now. Okay, there's probably more in this cubby hole here. That is a boss. That is a polar boss! I am fucked! Oh shit! That was pretty funny. I'm gonna go get some food. That was too funny.
Come in.
That was too fucking funny.
Right away.
That was... of all the things I could have run into at that particular moment, as I'm dealing with like enemies on two different fronts, God, I should have just cleared out that other side first. But I didn't. I had no way. If I had run into a puller on that side, it would have given me the same problem, right? So no, it wouldn't actually. It would have. It would have been a little different. I would have had more opportunity to respond to a puller from that direction. But that was pretty fucking. That was pretty fucking funny.
What lies ahead?
All right, we're gonna get in this corner.
Useless.
Kill me!
Could you all like, please allow me to? What is happening? They're just standing there. Imagine if I could use ranged attacks on these fuckers. As they just stand there, like, looking like dopes. That puller was too funny. That was too funny. Hello. That's a huge pack, and we're in the wrong spot to protect ourselves from that. We're probably gonna die here. We got baited. We got baited. The bait is real, but is the comeback real? The comeback might be real. Oh god, there's a leecher on me. I'm gonna die to the leecher! Are you fucking kidding me? Am I gonna die to a leech? They finally walked in range and they're a leecher. How am I still alive? How am I still alive? Oh shit. Oh, come on. No, I don't have mana! I have no mana! Yes! Let's go! Oh my goodness. Alright, we're fine. We're fine. Okay, we killed the leech. Wild.
Great!
And there's still a bunch of them over there that have just not moved.
There's no room.
Look at him over there. If I was gonna try to get those, I would aggro this other pack completely. The pack that's right here. What is this hashtag calculated bullshit they've got going on here? This is like...
We got it!
This is a wildly competent pack of rats with epic tier baits. You know, I was planning on doing this and not saving, just to like try to go through the whole thing without saving, because that's how I went in the first time, and I think that it's kind of fun to try that again. But given what happened this time, given what the opening was, I want to keep it. I want to keep this opening. It's too funny. This is the world state that I want to be canon. This has to be the canon world state.
Useless.
And they're still here. now realize that baiting is useless, so they charge forward and probably all dive straight into my hidey hole and all attack me at once. That didn't end up happening. That's fine. Oh, it's time to start stream. Okay. We're in the green. We're not in the green. We're in the killing rat.
Let's leave it behind.
Okay. I am honestly tempted to try to turn that into a really good item. I think that it would have been probably the best use of my resources
Useless.
to honestly make just a bunch of really good rings. A while back. Like, if I had basically...
Won't fit.
I have too much.
If I basically set myself up with gear that, like, I know I'm not going to really replace it, and I just taken all the, like, really low... The stuff that just doesn't have any affixes to speak of. Like, if this was on a ring, as an example, right? Like, 2 copies of speed, and I can just add the plus $7 stats. I can just put that on a ring and make good with it. And that was something that I was, you know, looking forward to doing with stuff. But the thing is that what I should have been doing is actually just actively re-rolling every ring that had the potential to just grow casually into something really good. And I found some crazy Doom ring, didn't I? Did I find that in the dungeon, and so it's gone now? I think I did, right?
We don't need this.
Or was that in the other dungeon that I found it? It was in the other dungeon that I found it. So... luck. So this should not be what I have equipped. This is really, really good. Alright. So I think this is a good thing to have as my default to compare against other things. It gives us maximum spell points, which is very useful for us. Is that a summoner? Yes. It's a paralyzed summoner, so... oh boy.
I can't carry anymore.
Okay, I just realized what would be
Ooh,
a very, very, very fun run to do at some point. I think it would be fucking hilarious to do a run, and I think I might have mentioned this at some point in the past, but I don't think I'd fully developed it to this point. I think a run where you had 5 trolls, no one who isn't a troll, and all of them have a scholar's cap permanently affixed to their head would be a very fun way to play the game. 5 trolls with scholar's caps. Actually, here's an interesting question that I didn't think about. So, I'm not sure how, like, bolster level experience is calculated, right? Does learning... does increased learning skill increase the bolster EXP as well, or is the bolster based off of the base experience? Because like you have the experience that's split into the party, and then after it's split into the party, it's then multiplied by learning. Well, in Merge Mod normally there is, right? Merge Mod has bolster, right? This is a Merge Mod mechanic. Or did Ma change the way that the bolster works? Yeah, it just like the base. I'm just talking about the bolster mechanic itself, because I'm curious about. Oh, okay. Because if they completely rewrote the way that bolster works, then it's not even an interesting question at that point, I guess. Because it's not like with a baseline troll regen, you're gonna want to make 5 trolls with learning caps. That's not really a winning strat, but though I am still curious about it. Because it's an interesting thought of like if the learning skill allows enemies to bolster higher, then it gives you even more experience than you'd think it would, because it's increasing the level of the enemies and therefore the experience that they give you over the course of the game. But if it doesn't influence the bolster level, then it has another interesting dynamic to it, which is that it actually allows you to outscale the bolster, where you're getting more experience than the enemy bolster mechanic is giving them, so learning actually does increase your relative level against the enemies in the same way that it would in vanilla. Like without bolster. Which is an interesting dynamic as well.
It won't fit. Now here's something.
Like either way that it works gives what I feel is an interesting mechanical interaction as an output. That are optimal for different types of, things. It's so funny that the ones that I can actually see have not aggroed, but the ones that... Oh, they have now. But the ones that were, like, buried deep aggroed first. We're actually going to go to the other side now, I think. You know what? No, we're not. We're going to go over here. Open this door. Not a lot of enemies in here.
No room.
No space. No
Won't
space.
fit. No room.
No room.
Okay. We're gonna need to do some serious inventory management once we finish this dungeon.
Jump.
Fuck me! Ooh, I was standing in a very bad position there. There's no shot that we prevent these from leaking enough to obliterate us, right? Is there a shot? They're still all moving around, so I'm not willing to, like... Oh, I can hit them from here. Okay, some of them are leaking. We're going back in the corner. Some of them are moving. Okay, this Goblin Lord is leaking. It's not. Changed its mind. Oh, I haven't torchlight. I thought that I did. I acknowledged the message and then was like, yes, torchlight. And then I didn't do it. Because I thought I did it. I'm a terrible streamer. Oh god. Okay. Pray indeed. Okay, let's...
Who wants some?
We got it.
We're in the green. Let's go.
I can't carry anymore.
Okie dokie. Everything is fine. Alright, who else? Oh, that is the entire pack. Okay. How funny would it be if I had accidentally aggroed like 15 mobs over here and not noticed, and then I got killed while I was dicking around with barrels? Wow, we got bats. Imagine that.
I'm not dead yet.
Fucking bats, man.
Won't fit.
Okay. Shit. Okay, that's one down. Luckily, these kinds of pulls are a lot easier with my current damage output. There's like a lot less like time for the enemies to like move around a little bit as I'm poking them and stuff like that, since they're just getting hit so hard. Yeah, left. There's enough left that I shouldn't
Toast.
try to dick around with this. I think we're fine now. There we go. Okay, we are in the green. We have more barrels. Whew. So we've cleared one side of this. And you know what? Just for good measure, we're going to torchlight again. Alright. We've cleared one side. We can pop over here. And hopefully we can aggro these in a controlled enough fashion. I think I'm fine to just fight them. Hopefully I can fight these in a controlled enough fashion to get ourselves to the point where we can just leave and save that way. That's concerning. Hey! And that's what we're going to do. We have cleared out enough of this dungeon that the enemies are weakened. So rather than save in here... Actually, you know what? We'll save in here anyway. We're not going to leave. We're just going to save. So we've gotten to the point where we could have left and saved that way. So this imitates our coming in here without food. But we don't need to imitate it that much. We don't need to actually go out. And we have maintained the canon of the incredibly bizarre rat baiting at the beginning. That is a lot of enemies that cannot face off against the power of the corner. Okay.
Won't fit. No room.
Okay. The song that is like that plays in Final Fantasy VII when you start descending into the final dungeon has just started playing in my head for some reason, and I don't know why. I'm trying to remember the... I have it in my head, and it's hard to pull it out of the head and into reality.
I'm not dead yet.
I'm just like trying to recall all the like details of it. It's been a while since I like played through Final Fantasy VII. It was very funny because I played the Final Fantasy VII remake, the first part of it, with Kaz, and I found it incredibly frustrating because the pacing on Final Fantasy VII was really good, and then they destroyed the pacing completely for the remake by deciding that they should make a 40-hour experience out of 5 hours of gameplay. Or, not at 5 hours of gameplay, 5 hours of narrative, right? So 5 hours of narrative gets spread out over the course of, like, I don't know what it is, it's like 20 hours of gameplay or something like that. It's probably not 40. They don't make games that long anymore. But, anyway, it was really frustrating because, like, I feel like my wife could tell every time they were doing something that wasn't, like, part of the initial game, because she never played the original game, because when she's watching, like, a narrative game, that shit's gotta have fucking voice acting, or she's gonna lose interest quick. I didn't make a secondary save. I just saved the once. Let's see here. I thought I'd be fine there. And Anyway, but it was very funny because she hadn't like played it, but I feel like she could tell when it's like, okay, well, we're into the part of the game that was not in the original because it just kind of feels tacked on and weird, as opposed to being insane and weird. Like the pacing in the train graveyard is a horror show. It's a total horror show, how they paced the train graveyard. You have this incredibly highly intense thing, and just like, you know, you're in a race against time, you need to get to a place really fast, and it takes 10 hours to get there because they took 3 completely different like side quests and tacked them all into the main plot at that section of the game. Where it's like, clearly you were meant to come to the train graveyard more than once, and they couldn't figure out where to put that side quest, so they just repurposed the side quest into the main plot. You can feel it. You can feel the recycled resources going into the remake. It's rough, but not recycled. The repurposed resources. Like, you know, clearly they were meant to get all the way to Calm initially, and so they had the Nibelheim reactor completely built. But they don't get to Calm. But they use the Nibelheim reactor anyway as an asset because they built it. So you just randomly end up at the Nibelheim reactor, but they don't call it the Nibelheim reactor, but that's what it is. Anyway, a lot of weird stuff like that. Anyway, point being that all the best parts of the remake were when they just word for word voice acted the original script of Final Fantasy VII with no deviations. Those were the best parts of the remake. They also, funnily enough, feel the most modern. The parts that were made in 1997 felt the most modern. And because those parts were so good, it finally made my wife go, you know what? I could play this game. I could play this. This is fine. I'm gonna play this. And so we played through Final Fantasy VII, the actual game, together. Finally, and she was invested because she'd heard these characters speak, and she was also invested because I think she was interested to see like how true I was being when I said this entire dialogue sequence with like Aerith and Cloud shooting the shit here is word for word taken from the script of the game from 1997. This is actually just the original game right here. This is what the whole game was. Not the whole game, but the section in question was a particularly good section of the script. But anyway, so good. God, FF7 was like, it still is like a really good game. It has a lot of fun mechanics to play with. I don't know how I got on Final Fantasy VII. Oh, right, because I got one of the songs stuck in my head randomly. But yeah, I haven't bothered to touch the other parts of it, of the remake, because to be perfectly frank, I'm expecting them to do a Kingdom Hearts thing. Which doing a Kingdom Hearts thing is kind of like doing a Lost thing, where you try to present a bunch of questions that are interesting that you don't actually have an answer to, and you don't have any intention of really answering in a meaningful way. You'll just like hand wave it off in 3 games or something. That's not the only reason. I found the remake kind of viscerally upsetting because the changes that they made to the plot, as far as I can tell, the plot of the remake is, isn't it sad that we have to like that we have to be tied to one of the best written like narrative games ever? Wouldn't it be great if we weren't trapped by that greatness and we could just do whatever we wanted? And that's not to say like that's what it feels like they're saying. That's the actual plot. The actual plot of the game is, wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to do Final Fantasy VII? That's literally the plot. Spoiler alert, I guess? The plot of the remake is the characters don't want to make Final Fantasy VII. I was actually planning on making a video essay about it a long time ago. I had it like partially written out, and I eventually just kind of gave up. Man. Yeah, like, I know that they're gonna sideline Genova as a villain. Like, I think that one of the things that's most interesting about, like, Final Fantasy VII is the fact that basically no one recognizes that Sephiroth is not in the game. Like, Sephiroth is not in Final Fantasy VII. There's a couple of flashbacks that Sephiroth is in. Sephiroth is not in Final Fantasy VII.
I'm not dead yet.
Sephiroth is straight up dead. I guess spoiler alert. Oh, fuck! Oh god, that was not a time to press spacebar a bunch of times. Ooh boy. But yeah, that's your major spoiler for Final Fantasy VII. Sephiroth is dead. He's been dead. And every piece of subsequent media about Final Fantasy VII has kind of ignored that fact. It's my understanding that they had initially intended for that to be kind of like the plot, and then they eventually changed their minds, but they didn't change enough about the plot of Final Fantasy VII to actually change that part of the plot, if that makes any sense. So imagine if you wrote a story where you were intending someone to be a villain, right? Like, actually, a good example of that would be in the Star Wars prequels. In the Star Wars prequels, it's my understanding that originally there was the intention for there to be a reveal that Jar Jar Binks was actually like a Sith Lord. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. That it's my understanding that like weird conspiracy theory that people had was actually initially the plot, right? But you can tell because they left a bunch of pieces in that are like really fucking shady and suspicious, right? There's a bunch of stuff. The whole Jar Jar Binks theory is really wild. But like with the Jar Jar Binks thing, there isn't enough. There's just vibes that are left, right? Like there isn't enough left of that initial plot for it to be a terribly compelling interpretation of the events that happen. And really the conspiracy theory is just, this is what was initially intended, and look at all this weird shady shit that he did, right? It's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, why would you have the particular set of weird shit that he's doing at the particular times that he's doing the weird shit, right? Anyway, it's a whole thing. Makes sense. Okay, this is a thing that they had initially intended. But there aren't pieces of the plot in like episode 1 that require Jar Jar Binks to be a Sith Lord in order for them to make sense. Right? Like, the plot of Episode 1 makes sense with the presumption that that Jar Jar Binks is not, right? Like, your villains are fairly coherent, this, that, or the other stuff. And so, with Final Fantasy VII, though, the plot really only makes sense if you assume that the only villain that you're really dealing with, in terms of, like, the existential threats, though I guess Shinra is kind of an existential threat, but, like, if you just presume that Sephiroth is not in the narrative at all, that is literally the only interpretation that really works. And in addition to it being really the only thing that makes too much sense or works, it's also pretty much directly stated in Professor Gast's logs. In Professor Gast's logs, there's a whole thing in there about Jenova wearing, like, the faces of your loved ones and the people that you are close to. That is, like, one of the secret entries in Professor Gast's logs. And it's kind of critically important because, again, we know this guy is dead. Anyway, it's kind of interesting, and but the issue is that now anytime someone makes Final Fantasy VII media, they're going with the retcon to that never really worked, or was never really finished, if that makes any sense, right? Like, Final Fantasy VII works as long as you don't buy into the rewrite, right? As long as you just assume that it's like, oh yeah, the characters don't realize what's happening, but they are in fact completely being misled by Jenova the entire time, and Sephiroth is not in this narrative. Right? What is happening? These things are going fucking insane right now, and I don't know who's even hitting me. There they are. Alright, I should have looked up because I knew there were bats involved. Dungeon complete. Anyway, it's a whole thing. At some point, I should play through Final Fantasy VII and
It might be useful.
just go through the whole thing with, like, a demonstration of, like, exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, as a random example of what I'm talking about, why can Sephiroth mind control Cloud? Noises from the throne room. Interesting. Like, why can Sephiroth mind control Cloud?
It's worthless.
Can Sephiroth mind control Cloud because Sephiroth is in charge of Jenova and the Jenova cells? Is Sephiroth the one in charge of Jenova? No. Sephiroth isn't in charge of Jenova. That's not happening. So who's in charge? The one in charge is Jenova. So Sephiroth can't mind control Cloud. Jenova can mind control Cloud. Anyway, it's the whole thing is very interesting. The game very clearly telegraphs to you that, like, Jenova is a being of illusion and deceit, like, the entire time. Like, all the gigantic monstrosities that you fight, and it's just a random limb of Jenova. It's like, oh, was this random limb of Jenova actually turning into this gigantic beast? No. No, it was an illusion the entire time. You were fighting an illusion. Like, all that kind of stuff. Like, and every time Sephiroth shows up, there's a limb of Jenova involved in the fight, right? Like, a limb of Jenova. Why is that? Because Sephiroth wasn't there in the first place. Why does Sephiroth leave his sword everywhere? because he doesn't. It's not really his sword. It's not really him in the first place, right? Like all of this stuff makes so much coherent sense. All this silly stuff that seems like, oh wow, this is like a big oversight for the developers. No, it wasn't. It was them specifically signaling to you that something is wrong about all of this, right? Like Sephiroth didn't leave his sword in 4 different locations over the course of the game. That's not a thing he did. It was not his sword, and it wasn't him. Anyway, that is my conspiracy theory about Final Fantasy VII that is objectively correct. Trust me. I'm very trustworthy. Alright, it's Wednesday. We can talk to the butler again. Thank heavens you've cleaned them out. Okay. I think we don't have to worry about, like...
How are you this evening?
You wouldn't believe this fabrication, would you? Never dream of sabotaging your rule. Prepare to die. Well, you know, that was... You know, you had me there for a second. I was like, oh wow, maybe you know, maybe you're right. Maybe you were being framed, and then nope. It is very funny to think of the idea of, like, how would you handle it
I can't carry it.
if he just said, oh,
Let's leave it behind.
well, that's clearly not true. I don't know who sent you that. Obviously, I can't go into the castle. This sounds like, you know, someone's trying to frame me. And then doesn't attack you immediately.
Won't fit. That's
Oh man.
No space. There's
Oh god. I'm also now remembering, like, more scenes that were just so cringe in the remake. There's a scene in the remake where the noted eco-terrorist Tifa Lockhart tells Cloud not to kill soldiers who were sent for the express purpose of killing them and everyone that they care about, and who, if left to live, will immediately go back and tell their superiors exactly where Avalanche's hideout is, and thus kill everybody. This is a completely new scene, completely added for the remake. It's not the thing that this scene is built off of is new to the remake. So it's not the fundamental subtext of this event only happens in the remake. And Tifa Lockhart, after you do a fight where Cloud is fighting with a sword that is larger than the people that you are fighting, Tifa's like, oh no, you can't